YouTube, what's up? Back again for another daily fishing video here on Andrew Upshaw Fishing. Guys, we have some big news in the fishing industry this week. We've got an angler leaving the Bass Pro Tour, and we've got an angler going to the Bassmaster Elite Series. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the rest of this video, and you're going to see exactly who I'm talking about. And it's guys that you would least expect. But guys, real fast, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you do so. It's in the bottom right hand corner. It really helps me out to know who wants to watch my videos. But guys, let's dive right on into this. This is really good stuff. First off, we're going to start with who is leaving the Bass Pro Tour. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, there's actually a couple of anglers that are leaving, but this particular one has made more of the headlines as of late. The other one, I don't know if has really announced anything, so I'm not going to say anything, and I can't, because I'm just not going to say anything. But the one that has announced that he is leaving the Bass Pro Tour is reigning 2022 Red Crest champion Bobby Lane. I'm going to tell you guys, that is humongous news when it comes to bass fishing and the tournament scene. Bobby Lane, that's like the classic champion just rolling out after the year he wins. Now, granted, I think Ott Defoe did the exact same thing, but I think Ott had already made his decision. But the fact of the matter is Bobby has decided, even after this win, that it's time for him to move on. I was actually reading through a Bass Blaster, J. Kumar stuff, and there was an interview that he did with Bobby, and Bobby actually said that he fished both the pro circuit this year and the Bass Pro Tour, and he got to do the whole weigh-in scene with the pro circuit, and realized just how much he missed it and how much his family missed that interaction. And I can go ahead and tell you, that was one of the conversations that I had with my wife and my family. And now, granted, I wasn't ever invited to the Bass Pro Tour, nor do I really think it really fits the style of fishing that I like to do anyway. But that was one thing that when we were trying to decide if I was going to go fish the pro circuit or fish the opens, that was one thing that we thought about, was like, I really enjoyed having my son come up on stage with me and spend that time with me and have that crowning moment and those kind of things. And when you know everything that's already happened on the water, that moment doesn't really happen per se. So it's just a different atmosphere. You know, when I won my events that I didn't know until the last person weighed in of that day right in front of me, and it was just, that was when it happened. So it's just to see Bobby make that transition to leave an upper tier or a top tier tournament trail like the Bass Pro Tour. I would say top tier at this point. It's like Bass Pro Tour or Bassmaster Elite Series. To leave that to go down to the Opens just to qualify for the Bassmaster Elite Series, that says something, guys. Recently, Bass Pro Tour announced that they have now gone to the weigh release program with 5 fish only. And this news is coming even after that. And now I will say this, and I want to commend MLF for something. I think with them going to the 5 fish format, it will be better for the anglers. It will make for better television, and quite honestly, I still think it's going to showcase just how good some of these fisheries are, and it'll be a lot more relatable. You know, the way their format currently was, you know, you could catch 80 fish, and you might have 6 or 7 7-pounders in that 80 fish, but you just got it all swallowed up by all the 2-pounders, pound-and-a-halfers, 3-pounders that you might have caught. So those really big fish that you caught just kind of got forgotten. And so with that being said, with them going to 5 fish, I really think it's going to highlight just how good some of these anglers are. What is it going to change, you know, the standings? Or is there going to be this huge flip-flop from like Jacob Wheeler and Justin Lucas and Michael Neal and some of these guys that have been hammering them using forward-facing sonar? No. These guys are still catching big ones, and that's the reality of it. Now, will they have to change in certain bodies of water? Sure. But will you go see guys frogging on Lake St. Clair? No, it ain't going to happen. You're going to see guys out there fishing for 5 big smallmouth, and that's just what they're going for. So I really like that change because it's really going to make it a way more relatable to a tournament angler than going out there and catching 100 2-pounders, as some people say. But in reality, they're still catching big ones. It just gets swallowed up by everything else. But Bobby Lane making this big jump to the opens definitely puts more pressure on me. Bobby, I wish you would have just stayed over there. You know what I'm saying? But I do commend him for making a big decision based off of family and God first. I think that is probably one of the best things I've read in a long time. You know, a lot of times we, on the outside looking in, we can, you know, the Saturday morning quarterbacks say, man, I can't believe you would do this for that, and, you know, all these different things. But the reality is, guys, we have to do what's best for our families and for ourselves. I made that decision amongst a lot of other anglers. Look at Bradley Hallman. Look at Scott Martin. Hallman just qualified for the Bassmaster Elite Series. Scott Martin qualified first year that he tried. And I'm still sitting here, but I'm still doing my best to make it. These anglers, you know, threw it all out on the line, said, we are going to accomplish this goal, and they did. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think Bobby qualifies first year. And that's just the reality of it. I mean, Bobby is a fantastic, fantastic angler. And this schedule fits him so perfectly, it's not even funny. But the second part of this is who has gone to the Bassmaster Elite Series. And that is no other than Larry Nixon. He accepted the Legend invite. And let me tell you guys, I've known Larry for a really long time, and I consider him a really good friend of mine. We don't talk every day, but he's one of those guys that I can catch up with the conversation the next time I see him, and just right where we left off before. I fished against Larry for quite some time, and he's a really good friend of my mentor, Tommy Martin. Larry grew up guiding on Toledo Bend, so I have a lot of history, knowing a lot of history about Larry. I've never been able to share the boat with him. I would absolutely love to. So, Larry, if you're watching this, let's go fishing sometime. I'd love to know your secret honey holes on Toledo Bend. But with that being said, Larry Nixon was BASS's first $1 million man. The dude won so many things. He had 20, let's see, I have it right here. He fished in 23 Bassmasters Classic, including a win in 1983 on the Ohio River. He's the only angler to win 4 Megabucks titles, which, I mean, I'm just going to tell you right now, that is pretty amazing in itself. But here is the interesting stat when it comes to Larry Nixon. He has 14 career wins, bass wins, 2 FLW Tour victories, 80 top 10 finishes, which that's a lot. You know, the one other thing that I really like, this is a stat I really like, he finished in the money more than 2/3 of bass events he's ever fished. So 2/3 of the time, 66% of the time, Larry Nixon has gotten a check. Guys, that is amazing. When you talk about the vast amount of lakes that we go to, all these places at all these different times, you know, the guy has gone out there and caught them every single time just about. And 1/3 of the time, he's gotten a top 10. So not only has he gone out there and just cashed a check, 1/3 of the time that he fishes a bass event, he gets a top 10 in it. You know, nicknamed the General, he's from Arkansas, you know, an Arkansas native, but the deal is he grew up Toledo Bend. He knows his fishing. He's traveled everywhere and fished. I think Larry Nixon makes a big imprint on the Bassmaster Elite Series this year. Does he win Angler of the Year? Probably not. But does he win a tournament? I wouldn't count him out. He's going to be one of those guys that when it comes to smallmouth fishing, he is so ridiculously good. Like, I don't remember the Elite Series schedule right off the top of my head, but I'm going to tell you right now, if he goes to St. Clair, St. Lawrence River, any of those, Champlain, any of those places, he is going to be hard to deal with. And so I definitely see Larry Nixon having a great season on the Bassmaster Elite Series. But overall, guys, great news in the fishing industry. And you want to say that maybe some people are going to say Bobby Lane leaving the Bass Pro Tour isn't good, but I mean, let's be honest, guys, he's making some great decisions for his family. And I would say the same thing if somebody left the Bassmaster Elite Series to go fish the MLF Invitationals. Because at the same time, we need to inspire each other. We need to be positive for each other. Because if that's what that angler needs, then that's what they need. So I'm going to support any decision that they make. Even though Bobby is adding more competition to me, I still think it's going to be really good for him and his family. So, Bobby, congratulations. Larry, congratulations. I'm so happy for the both of you. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you do that. I'm so happy that y'all been following along so long.